Om. Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhushta Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyadramitam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So where are we in our text?
Starting chapter 20.
And Aditi, will you help us out?
Yes. Give me a second, though. Just need to find it.
Do we have Scott online?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, Scott.
Morning, Jim.
Chapter 20. The Supreme is beyond all.
Yeah.
All desires aim at happiness. Their shape and quality depend on the psyche, the antakarana. Where inertia, tamas, predominates, we find perversions. With energy, rajas, passions arise. With lucidity, sattva, the motive behind the desire is goodwill, compassion, the urge to make happy rather than be happy. The Supreme is beyond all. Yet, because of its infinite permeability, all cogent desires can be fulfilled. Questioner. You say reality is one. Oneness, unity, is the attribute of the person. Is then reality a person, with the universe as its body? Maharaj. Whatever you say will be both true and false. Words do not reach beyond the mind.
Yes. So let's stop there. And that those introductory remarks are really quite important. So dealing first with the questioner. In Gita, Krishna says, in whatever way people approach me, so am I to them. There is a personal God which is as real as your ego, as your equipment, your body, mind, intellect. But how you perceive that God is cultural and according to the qualities of your own mind. The truth, the reality is beyond both the ego sense and the personal God. Now, what Maharaj was saying in those opening remarks, that quotation, this is incredibly important stuff. And it is beautifully parsed in Vidyaranya's Panchadashi. In the last 5 chapters, the whole section is about ananda, bliss, or happiness. Now, the scriptures point to the self and use the terms Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat, pure existence; Chit, pure awareness; Ananda, bliss absolute. Nobody doubts that they are, unless they are a follower of Sunga, a Shunyavadan. I don't exist. Do you know you don't exist? Oh, yes, I know I don't exist. I've had the experience of not existing. That's absolutely ridiculous. And if you had the experience of non-existence, to whom did this occur? So the fact is, everybody is always experiencing Sat. I always am. Chit, awareness. I'm always knowing. What about deep sleep? When we're in deep sleep, we've talked about this. You are illuminating the unmanifest. You are not unconscious. Ananda, bliss absolute. I'm happy all the time. Nobody has that experience. So obviously, what the scriptures mean by ananda cannot be the feeling of happiness. Does everybody get that? So the scriptures call it bliss absolute because it is the fountainhead, it is the wellspring of all happiness. What is happiness? Happiness is the mind absorbed in its source, the self. Like the waves merge into the ocean. And here he talked about 3 ways in which we experience it. So for the tamasic mind, because of my delusion, I seek unconsciousness in order to be happy. I'm depressed, so I want to sleep 15 hours a day. I want to shoot heroin, so I'm unconscious. I want to do oxycodone or fentanyl to get unconscious. Why? Because in those tamasic states, agitation of the mind, which is what my suffering is temporarily abated. The problem is it's always temporary, and you always need to get more and more and more of it. It's a failing process. Rajas, where the mind seeks to experience happiness through the Vishaya, through the sense objects, people, places, things, and conditions, with the deep conviction, unexamined, I am spiritually impoverished. I'm needy. I have needs, and I need to get my needs met. So I think the Ananda is external in the people, places, things, and conditions. I call it worldly pleasure, worldly happiness. And in that Rajasic mind state, there's always the element of struggle. Always. Now, in our early study of the tradition, the great teachers tell us we have to renounce our attachment to worldly pleasures. Let go of them. Why? Because as long as I believe happiness is other, that's where the mind attaches, that's where it goes. The ruthless rule of the mind will return to the experience that's given it the greatest joy. You may have other ideas, but if that's what really blows your skirt up, that's where your mind's going to go. Sattva. This is when, to some degree, the mind has the capacity to stay home. Where it doesn't experience the pain of the vikshepa shakti, the extroversion. So Vidyaranya divides the experience of Ananda into three: Vasanananda, Vishayananda, and Brahmananda. Vasana Ananda. Pure vasana is deep sleep. Now, other texts will describe Vasanananda as what I call snooze alarm bliss. You wake up in the morning, your mind has yet to start its projection. Oh, it feels so good. You just punch the pillow and oh, just another 10 minutes. There's just enough mind there to, not through memory, but in the now, enjoy being right on the edge of deep sleep. It's a wonderful state. No object is causing the happiness because the mind is right on the edge of Maya, of unconsciousness. Then what happens? Oh, I've got this meeting to go to, and then, oh, I haven't done my taxes yet, and the 15th is coming up, and oh, I feel so badly because I had a fight with my partner, yada, yada, yada. The mind returns, and just like mist in the morning sun, it just fades away, goes the Ananda. Vishayananda, the bliss that I experience through an object. When desire and object of desire become one for an instant, for a moment, the projecting power of the mind, the kama, the craving, the shriha, the longing, the vansha, the trishna is abated. And I have a point of pleasure. Now again, it varies in intensity and duration, depending on how badly I wanted the object and how completely it stopped my mind. So the fool has a piece of fudge and goes, fudge is what's good. The yogi eats the same piece of fudge Oh man, that really stopped my mind. And Brahmananda, the yogi develops the trick of being able to just let go of the mind. Stays home. We call the self Ananda, because when the mind is absorbed in the self, again as Vidyaranya calls it, Brahmananda Rasa Swad, the taste, the juice of this. Other scriptures will use the term Atmaramana, to revel in the self. What does the reveling? Is it your nose? Is it your toes? It's the mind. This is incredibly important. There is probably no more fruitful meditation than to watch our minds own our dukkha, our suffering. My mind tells me I'm unhappy because I'm not getting what I want. Yoga says I'm unhappy because I'm stuck wanting. I have a want on. When I was doing my sadhana in the ashram, my nickname for my mind was Mudha. So when I would see myself wanting, it's so painful and it's so boring and repetitive. That's what's just so disgusting about it. Oh, this is a new desire. This is suffering I've never had before. Yeah. No. Same stupid attachment. Are you identifying with this? Do you relate? It's so boring. So this is deep insight to see the cause of the dukkha. It's the kama itself. Worldly happiness and worldly suffering are the same thing. Because if I externalize my ananda, I will suffer. And the further away the object of desire is, and the more intense the longing, meaning my deeply rooted conviction, happiness is that, the more intense the suffering. Then own our ananda. When desire and object of desire become one, own it. That's a taste of myself. It's not in the object. And again, we get confused because of the diversity of sensory experience. Things seen, heard, taste, touch, smelt, emotional satisfaction. Good friends and ice cream do the same thing in my mind. Yes. Doesn't seem like it, but it does. It's that feeling. Feeling, I think I'm happy, when in fact it's the mind freed from the attachments and coming home to the self. Or as Gita says, when a person casts off all the desires of the mind, O Partha, and is satisfied in the self, by the self, then they're said to be a person of steady wisdom. No more fruitful meditation than this. This is viveka. This is real discrimination. Brahma Satyam Jagan. Which leads to vairagya, mature dispassion, detachment. And that leads to freedom. Now, don't believe me. Don't believe Nisargadatta Maharaj. Watch your mind. Prove or disprove this. Laboratory of your own direct experience. And even after having heard this so many times, who got upset this week?
Mm-hmm.
Who thought it was out there? The government. My partner. My lack of partner. Buddha. Of course, the best explanation of it all. Don't dress up a rotting corpse thinking it's a beautiful bride. That's Shaka. All right, going on.
Maharaj, whatever you may say will be both true and false. Words do not reach beyond the mind. Questioner, I am just trying to understand. You are telling us of the person, the self, and the supreme. Vyakti, Vyakta, Avyakta. The light of pure awareness, prajna, focused as I am in the self, the jivatma, as consciousness, chetana, illuminates the mind, antakarana, and as life, prajna, vitalizes the body, deha. All this is fine as far as the words go, but when it comes to distinguishing in myself the person from the self and the self from the supreme, I get mixed up. Maharaj, the person is never the subject. You can see a person, but you are not the person. You are always the supreme, which appears at a given point of time and space as the witness, a bridge between the pure awareness of the supreme and the manifold consciousness of the person. Questioner.
Okay, let's see if we can clarify this. So, consciousness, remember, I'll use different language because he uses consciousness for Chaitanya. Awareness strikes the lens of the subtle intellect and becomes Chid Abhasa, the reflection of consciousness, which is then experienced as the individual knower of the world, the witness of the world. Just like when I bring out the mirror and I hold it under the light, I can shine the mirror in your face or your face or your face, and I can have two mirrors and it seems like there's two lights. No, it's only one lamp. But the cool thing about it is when we introvert the attentive faculty, I wouldn't get all caught up in trying to understand these various paradigms. They are map, not territory. Stay with the territory. What your direct experience is. Who sees the phone? I do. That's yourself. You don't get another self. Sound like right now I'm the personal sense of self and I've got to find Paramatma up there. No. What I have is incrustations around the self. It's like you take the tube inside the paper towels. If you close one eye and you look through the tube, what you can see is quite limited. That's like the self peeping through the mind or the subtle intellect of the senses. But if I remove the paper towel tube, I have this vast periphery of vision. So the paper towel tube ultimately is nothing more than the flow of thought. Thin the mind. Tanu manasa. And you remove the paper towel tube. All limitation of I seem to be illusory. Now, ahankara, the ego sense, is actually an object of perception. We see it rise and fall. We see it thicken and thin. You have no personal sense of self in deep sleep. You do have it when you wake up. Obviously, you see it come and go. You get deeply engaged in a project. You go out. What is it that the kids do? Ecstatic dancing. No self. You're lost in it. You do public speaking. Oh my God, am I going to do it okay? What do they think of me? It thickens. But the fact that you can see it thicken and thin, appear and disappear, proves it's not you. Any thoughts on this? Did you like my example of ecstatic dance? Yes. Next one.
Questioner. When I look at myself, I find I am several persons fighting amongst themselves for the use of the body.
Woo! You should see a psychiatrist.
Maharaj, they correspond to the various tendencies, samskara, of the mind. Questioner. Can I make peace between them? Maharaj. How can you? They are so contradictory. See them as they are. Mere habits of thoughts and feelings, bundles of memories and urges. Questioner. Yet they all say, I am. Maharaj. It is only because you identify yourself with them. Once you realize that whatever appears before you cannot be yourself and cannot say, I am, You are free of all your persons and their demands.
So you're there with a bunch of friends and you're getting lots of attention and you're just on and you feel I'm okay. I'm loved. Pathetically, you have a fight with someone, you get criticized, and you think, oh, I'm not doing it right. I'm not good enough. What is it that changed? Ideas of self, not self. Now, one of the things Maharaj has said, which is so true, these ideas of self are frequently in tension, in conflict with themselves. It is like looking at your reflection in a mirror. One mirror, you look, oh, I'm so handsome, I'm so pretty. Another mirror, oh God, I'm getting old. Oh, look at that gray hair. My idea of my body is dependent upon the reflecting surface. I used to work out at this gym in the city called the Muscle System. Down in the basement, they had this wall that was nothing but mirrors. And it's where they had like the curls and stuff like that. So you'd go stand in front of one mirror, just a little bit taller and thinner. And you moved over here just a bit shorter and thicker. It was just fascinating to watch. And what the mind did with that, I like this side better. But the body underwent no change. There's no reflecting surface. And that's what we tend to do. Seek self through the funhouse mirrors of other people's opinions. That's crazy. That's what we do. He was mean to me. Now listen carefully. Almost all of us are very willing to try to renounce our identification, our attachment to negative feedback. That's not where the attachment happens.
Mhm.
Oh, Michael, you're such a good yogi. And you're smart and you're good looking. Everybody likes you. You're a successful fellow. It's so popular. All your friends just love you. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
That's where the attachment comes. Almost always, 99% of the time. When the good stuff comes, lap it up. And the mind goes, so the practice, someone compliments you, you have a mind like a sieve. Couple little tricks that are useful. All God's grace. The glory is His. How many times, for example, in class, oh, Jim, You're such a good teacher. What do I do? I don't ever believe it when you guys say it. I'm going to fall into that stupid trap. Whatever way you find to just let it pass through. No personal sense of self is real. Going on.
It is only because you identify yourself with them. Once you realize that whatever appears before you cannot be yourself and cannot say, I am, you are free of all your persons and their demands. The sense I am is your own. You cannot part with it, but you can impart it to anything, as in saying, I am young, I am rich, and so on. But such self-identifications are patently false and the cause of bondage. Questioner.
Did you get that? The essence of our bondage is I attribute to the self the qualities of the not self. There it is. Adhyasa, superimposition, snake in the rope. What are the qualities of myself? Nirupam. I have no form, no qualities. Going on.
Questioner. I can now understand that I am not the person, but that which, when reflected in the person, gives it a sense of being. Now, what about the Supreme? In what way do I know myself as the Supreme? Maharaj, the source of consciousness cannot be an object in consciousness. To know the source is to be the source. When you realize that you are not the person, but the pure and calm witness, and that fearless awareness is your very being, you are the being. It is the source, the inexhaustible possibility.
So, to make it simpler, how do you know that you are you? Everything in the world of name and form is known through the triple factor, knower, knowing, and known. I, Jim, through seeing, know the bowl, object of awareness. Everything that's phenomenal, feelings, I through manas, no feelings, I through buddhi, no thoughts. How do you know you are you? You are not an object of cognition. You cannot be known through the known instruments of perception. Yet you are not unknown. The self is self-evident. And what makes it difficult to realize is not that it's far away, this questioner, I'm trying to reach the Supreme, like it's really out there someplace. It is so constant. It is so supremely evident. It is so present. But everybody misses it. It's so here. It's myself. I like to say the self is difficult to realize, not because it's so far away or takes some great journey or effort. It's difficult to realize because of its profound ordinariness. What is something that's ordinary? It's just always there. You always are. Going on.
Questioner. Are there many sources or one for all? Maharaj. It depends on how you look at it. In other words, from which end. The objects in the world are many, but the eye that sees them is one. The higher always appears as one to the lower, and the lower as many to the higher. Questioner. Shapes and names are all of one and the same God? Maharaj. Again, it all depends on how you look at it. On the verbal level, everything is relative. Absolutes should be experienced, not discussed. Questioner. How is the absolute experienced? Maharaj. It is not an object to be recognized and stored up in memory. Rather, it is in the present and in feeling. It has more to do with the how than with the what. It is in the quality, in the value. Being the source of everything, it is in everything. Questioner. If it is the source, why and how does it manifest itself? Excuse me. Maharaj, it gives birth to consciousness. All else is in consciousness. Questioner, why are there so many centers of consciousness? Maharaj, the objective universe, Mahadakash, is in constant movement, projecting and dissolving innumerable forms. Whenever a form is infused with life, pran, consciousness, chetana, appears by reflection of awareness in matter. Questioner, how is the Supreme affected? Maharaj, what can affect it and how? The source is not affected by the vagaries of the river, nor is the metal by the shape of the jewelry. Is the light affected by the picture on the screen? The Supreme makes everything possible, that is all. Questioner, how is it that some things do happen and some do not? Maharaj, seeking out causes is a pastime of the mind. There is no duality of cause and effect. Everything is its own cause. Questioner, no purposeful action is then possible? Maharaj, all I say is that consciousness contains all. In consciousness, all is possible. You can have causes if you want them, in your world. Another may be content with a single cause, God's will. The root cause is one, the sense I am.
So the idea is, if I look in the mirror and I watch the toothbrush brushing my teeth, I see the cause of my clean teeth is the toothbrush. The cause of the reflection is the mirror. But can I say that the mirror is brushing teeth All depends on from what viewpoint. In what we call vyavahara, which means doing business, transactions, of course, we experience cause and effect. There's a lamp, I turn the switch, it makes the light go on and off, cause and effect. But let's take the dream state. I could be dreaming that I turned the lamp on and off. Did the light switch really cause the dream lamp to go on? Seen. So I like to say you are the God of your dream. If you really understand how the dream comes about, microcosm, you will understand how the macrocosm appears. Nothing in your dream is outside the dream. Just my mind. So all this is mind with a big old capital M, what Maharaj calls Chaitanya, or consciousness. And all of it is in the self. So what? It's all okay. Nothing's going to harm you. Nothing's going to touch you. All of our efforts never change the self. Why am I doing all that I do? Because I think myself needs to be protected or defended or secured or improved. All based in illusion. Going on.
Questioner, what is the link between the self, Vyakta, and the supreme, Avyakta? Maharaj, from the self's point of view, the world is the known, the supreme, the unknown. The unknown gives birth to the known, yet remains unknown. The known is infinite, but the unknown is an infinitude of infinities. Just like a ray of light is never seen unless intercepted by the specks of dust, so the Supreme makes everything known while remaining unknown itself. Questioner, does it mean that the unknown is inaccessible? Maharaj, oh no. The Supreme is the easiest to reach, for it is your very being. It is enough to stop thinking and desiring anything but the Supreme. Questioner, and if I desire nothing, not even the Supreme? Maharaj, then you are as good as dead, or you are the Supreme. Questioner, the world is full of desires. Everybody wants something or other. Who is the desirer, the person or the self? Maharaj, the self. All desires, holy and unholy, come from the self. They all hang on the sense, I am. Questioner, I can understand holy desires, satyakam, emanating from the self. It may be the expression of the bliss aspect of the Satchitananda, beingness, awareness, happiness of the self. But why unholy desires? Maharaj, all desires aim at happiness. Their shape and quality depend on the psyche, antakarana. Where inertia, tamas, predominates, we find perversions. With energy, rajas, passions arise. With lucidity, sattva, the motive behind the desire is goodwill, compassion, the urge to make happy rather than be happy. The Supreme is beyond all, yet because of its infinite permeability, all cogent desires can be fulfilled. Questioner: which desires are cogent? Maharaj: desires that destroy their subjects or objects or do not subside on satisfaction are self-contradictory and cannot be fulfilled. Only desires motivated by love, goodwill, and compassion are beneficial to both the subject and object and can be fully satisfied.
So here's a very clear example. People, for example, who get addicted to anxiety medication do not realize that the drug produces the symptom for which you need the drug. If I quit taking the anxiety medication, I get so anxious. That's just nothing but withdrawal in the beginning. But my mind says I must have more of the drug because now I'm feeling anxious, not realizing the drug itself is what's producing the symptom for which I need the drug. That's only an extreme form of the world. That's all of our desires. It is like thinking I can quench a fire by giving it fuel. Oh, the fire is raging so bad, I'll just put gasoline on it. That will satisfy it. Going on.
Questioner: all desires are painful, the holy as well as the unholy. Maharaj: they are not the same, and pain is not the same. Passion is painful, compassion never. The entire universe strives to fulfill a desire born of compassion. Questioner: does the Supreme know itself? Is the impersonal conscious? Maharaj: the source of all has all. Whatever flows from it must be there already in seed form, and as a seed is the last of innumerable seeds and contains the experience and the promise of numberless forests, so does the unknown contain all that was or could have been, and all that should or would be. The entire field of becoming is open and accessible. Past and future coexist in the eternal now. Questioner: are you living in the supreme unknown? Maharaj: where else? Questioner: what makes you say so? Maharaj: no desire ever arises in my mind. Questioner: are you then unconscious? Maharaj: of course not. I am fully conscious, but since no desire or fear enters my mind, there is perfect silence. Questioner: who knows the silence? Maharaj: silence knows itself. It is the silence of the silent mind when passions and desires are silenced. Questioner: do you experience desires occasionally? Maharaj: desires are just waves in the mind. You know a wave when you see one. A desire is just one thing among many. I feel no urge to satisfy it. No action needs to be taken on it. Freedom from desire means this: the compulsion to satisfy is absent.
Yes. So, what is the difference between a preference and a compulsion or an insistence? That's an important distinction. You may prefer Masoor Dal to Tur Dal, but that's very different than when you're upset because your partner did or said something, or you don't have some situation. Someone said an unkind thing. This is the deeper meaning of this term kartavya. Kartavya literally just means obligatory action. But for yoga, it means the compulsion to take a baseball bat to the world. I must have it a certain way, or I won't be happy. And we can't judge other people. All you can do is look to your own mind. How does the jnani achieve this? As I said earlier, when I begin to see that the craving itself is the suffering, then I develop vairagya, that desire. It is a desire at the beginning to give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses and identification with any form of self. I develop the desire to be free from desire, which is different than the desire to get what I want. We getting close to the end of the chapter?
Yes.
Okay, going on.
Questioner, why do desires arise at all? Maharaj, because you imagine that you were born and that you will die if you do not take care of your body. Desire for embodied existence is the root cause of trouble. Questioner, yet so many jivas get into bodies. Surely it cannot be some error of judgment. There must be a purpose. What could it be? Maharaj, to know itself, the self must be faced with its opposite, the non-self. Desire leads to experience. Experience leads to discrimination, detachment, self-knowledge, and liberation. And what is liberation after all? To know that you are beyond birth and death. By forgetting who you are and imagining yourself a mortal creature, you create so much trouble for yourself that you have to wake up, as from a bad dream. Inquiry also wakes you up. You need not wait for suffering. Inquiry into happiness is better, for the mind is in harmony and at peace. Questioner, who exactly is the ultimate experiencer, the self or the unknown? Maharaj, the self, of course. Questioner, then why introduce the notion of the supreme unknown? Maharaj, to explain the self. Questioner, but is there anything beyond the self? Maharaj, outside the self there is nothing. All is one and all is contained in I am. In the waking and dreaming states, it is the person. In deep sleep and turiya, it is the self. Beyond the alert intentness of turiya lies the great silent peace of the Supreme. But in fact, all is one in essence and related in appearance. In ignorance, the seer becomes the seen, and in wisdom he is the seeing. But why be concerned with the supreme? Know the knower, and all will be known. That's the end of the chapter.
Any thoughts? Both bondage and liberation occur to the mind. Self is ever free. What is my bondage? The deeply rooted conviction in my mind as the result of ignorance that I'm bound, meaning I think I'm my body, and I've got needs. There is no other liberation than the deeply rooted conviction in the mind. Not that I'm a liberated person, but I'm not a person at all. I am Brahman. Based on aparoksha jnana, direct experience. Neither mind state touches the self. That doesn't mean it's not significant. Why? Self doesn't suffer. It's only my stupid ass mind. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.